Welcome, guys, to the daily analysis for January 9th. So, today is the big NFP day, but not just that. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we also have the Supreme Court decision on Trump tariffs, along with consumer sentiment data. All right, so in the morning session, probably a lot of volatility. Let's begin with the action of yesterday first. So, in QQQ, when we had rejected on Friday afternoon and closed below this range, we expected consolidation or chop going into NFP. This is something that we had expected even in the daily analysis on Wednesday. So yesterday, it wasn't a surprise that we stuck in this range. Now, in the daily analysis of yesterday, I had mentioned that 622.5 is the immediate support and the bull bear line. Below this, we likely go back to the bottom of the range, and that happened rather quickly early in the morning session yesterday. The last thing I had mentioned in the daily analysis was we could see some volatility in the morning session, but that likely just ends up into chop going into the lunch and afternoon session before NFP, and that's also what happened. All right, so far things are playing out as expected. Yesterday's drop is not a surprise. All of this on the largest scheme is just consolidation. Indices have been consolidating in a very tight range for the last 3 months, and that range has gotten even tighter. You guys can see the squeezes here, and we are getting close to a breakout. So trying to understand or trying to overthink each move within the range is going to leave you exhausted when the real breakout happens. You don't want to do that. All right, just realize that this entire area was a major resistance. We have rejected from here quite a few times, and every rejection has become smaller and smaller. So the supply is running out, and once we get above this area, once we get out of here, we would probably go to all-time highs rather quick. Do we have the catalyst for it today? Yes, we do. We have NFP and the Supreme Court decision. Let's see how it plays out. All right, so that's the overall context. Let's look at the individual levels. Well, overnight, first of all, yesterday we held this support rather well, which is what bulls needed to do, and they got it done. Overnight market is slightly higher, but nothing major. NFP is obviously going to be a big point, and so is going to be the Supreme Court decision. So no rush to try and scalp right away. Obviously, let this news come out, and then you can see how price plays out around these levels. 622.5 is going to be our major area. If price can hold above that, we go fill yesterday's gap and potentially get back to the 625.26 resistance. Above this resistance, I don't think price will stop this time. It would go rather quick. All right, so what happens after this? We go fill this gap that we left behind on November 4th and then potentially go to all-time highs. So those are your levels on the upside. What about downside? Downside is pretty clear. We have this major support. If the support breaks, price starts to hold below it, then we have this gap that likely gets filled between 2nd Jan and 3rd Jan. Sorry, 2nd Jan and 5th Jan. So that gap fill is going to be the major move below the support. So those are your levels for QQQ.